I'm going to look things up while we have a few moments because I've been looking at so much deliciousness. Um, Last night, let's see here. I've already been working on finding out what books I want to read next. We have a few minutes before we get started. If you have not used Internet Archive, I love Internet Archive. And most of the books that I desire to read, most, not all, I have been able to find in its library. I think it's the most wonderful creation ever. Giving it a few moments and then I'm gonna get started here. So if you haven't had a chance and there's a book you've been wanting to read, the chances are probably in the archive. And even if not, I have been able to find books as PDFs, free PDFs on the web. Or I normally look them up on YouTube sometimes and see what's available book-wise as well in that manner or form. Kind of like what I'm doing now. And then I normally still leave a review if I'm reading the book. I normally put it on my Amazon page. And then I normally leave them a review on their Amazon page. Hello, darlings. X-Stricken, Zach Maludi, Brody Johnson, Ray Thompson, Masood Battery Included, Iman Duman, Nora Plays, my queer plant family. Yes, happy Pride Month. Ray Thompson, Denelsia, Denelsia is for my OnlyFans. And then Ankit Gupta, thank you for asking, Ray Thompson. And then Janelle Figueroa and Zetson. Zetson's coming to the U.S. Where are you from, Zetson? Unknown Gaming. What country, darling? And as far as fast food chain, they closed my favorite fast food chain here in Indianapolis. My favorite, if I was going to do fast food, is Rally's, also known as Checkers in the southern location. I think they have the best burgers and the best fries. I think that they probably lost money and closed out without me having to do any research. Um, yes, darling, probably because they weren't charging enough for their product. So, um, yeah, kind of like Red Lobster that I talked about in a few previous videos. Um, some of their chains here in Indianapolis didn't make it when they had the all you can eat shrimp. The one on Shadeland, depending upon where you go in the US, if you go to the southern states, Checkers may still exist, but I have not looked it up because I'm not down south right now. Okay. The room echo. I'm downtown Indianapolis today, and I normally am not at this library location unless I'm doing a little entertainment. This is entertainment, I suppose, but it's not the type of entertainment I normally do at the library downtown. So it is what it is, and this is where I ended up, and this is where I'll be reading to you today from the downtown library. Okay, let's see. The difference between Internet Archive and a ebook, if you purchase an ebook, you are normally able to highlight the best DM Sosha. I hope that's how I say your name and that I said it correctly, my dear. Russia. Okay. Let's see. Very nice. It jumped me around again. I hate it when it jumps around. Request this AM. Can you do that? And can you do this while I was trying to do research? I said, yeah, she's feeling good. I do have a couple of short shirt orders I need to work on. I'm back in my spot. This afternoon, once I get out of here, I've already started two of the three short shirt orders. My aunt um, turned 60. Amen. She says, I want a shirt that says, um, the fun begins at 60. I'm going to make you whatever you want, Auntie, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm not waiting till 60 to have fun. Not at all. All right, we are in chapter 10. Income autopilot. Actually, no. That is chapter 11. The last time we talked about sailor shirts from France. Um, that, and we talked about yoga for rock climbers. And we did a lot of math. All right, so we're going to review from there. Let's just go through the math again and then go into our next step, which is the new rich revisited and how Doug did it. Chapter 10. All right, we talked about the as considered an expert, okay? And that's focal.media, Denelsia, Denelsia Walker. Hey, darling, Jay Fontes, Royal, Shark, Bait, Shit, Bad Shit. Oh my name. Carson, Baseball 5, and Jake the Legend. Well, thank you, Jake. Jake says heart disease caused by obesity is the #1 cause of death. Jake, I'm glad you brought that up real quick before I get started. Yes, baby, I used to weigh 415 pounds. That was back in 2017. I did have the gastric bypass surgery. I now weigh about 250. I've kept it off for about 10 years. I used to not be able to walk 5 minutes. I love walking miles now, since you brought it up. And then when I had the surgery, I was paralyzed. I had rhabdomyolysis. I was paralyzed from the waist down. I am a miracle at this very size and love myself. I remember after my surgery when I couldn't walk after I was paralyzed for a week that I took 2 months of disability so I could do physical therapy, and I started with baby steps, walking around grocery stores, walking at the mall. I went to yoga class for a whole year on a walker. And I listened to a lot of music therapy, did a lot of praying, used a lot of natural remedies. But you know what? From 415 to about, and I don't have any kind of, I don't have high blood pressure. Only pills I take are vitamins. So just because I'm big, I don't think you should make assumptions, politely said. Let's get started, shall we? All right. Yes, indeed. Oh, and I intend to shake my ass continuously in the future, all over the internet, everywhere, as I have been doing. Isn't it awesome? Let's keep going. All right, investing or divesting. But for right now, I'm going to read out of the 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss, and we're going to refresh and go to some things. Thank you. I appreciate you, Carson, Baseball 5, and Strikes FN. He said, good job. Thank you, darling. All right. So investing or divesting? We'll start there. Some of these I actually use. So let's talk about when they were talking about yoga, they were talking about sailor shirts from France. 5 days later, it's time to tally the results. What can we consider a good click-through and conversion rate? That is where the math can be deceiving. If we're selling 10,000 abdominal snowman suit with an 80% profit margin, we obviously need scrutiny, but she spent about $200 on PPC and got 14 signups from a free 10 tip report. If she assumes 60% would purchase, that means 8.4% people times 70%, 75 profit per DVD equals $630 in hypothetical total profit. Now, I do realize this is an older book. So, in the previous chapter, he talked just it and download it via live stream. So, just keep that in mind when you're researching and thinking about things going forward about value of each customer. The results of her small test are no guarantee of future success, but the indications are positive enough that she decides to set up a Yahoo store for $99 per month. Oh, I didn't know Yahoo charged that much. And a small per transaction fee. Her credit isn't excellent, so she will opt to use PayPal.com to accept credit cards and online instead of approaching her bank for a merchant account. She's going to need a merchant account. She emails the 10-tip report to those who signed up and asks for their feedback and recommendations for content on the DVD. 10 days later, she has the first attempt at the DVD ready to ship, and her store is online. Her business to original signups cover cost of production, and she is soon selling a respectable 10 DVDs per week, $750 profit via Google AdWords. She plans to test advertisement in niche magazines and blogs and now needs to create an automation architect to remove herself from the equation. I just went ahead, for the grant I just did, the first video was on a $500,000 loan to expand his business, and lenders kept telling him his wife did the accounting at home for just the personal business, and the accountant did the one at work, and she set up if you wanted to make a withdrawal with business funds policies in place. But there was no, oh, he set one up, very good. And authorized.net, awesomeness, to process credit cards, orders a dozen shirts from France, and sells them all over the following 10 days. This gives him enough profit to buy a small display ad at 50% off, asking for a first-time advertiser discount, and then citing a competing magazine to get another 20% off. He does this instead of using a website for two reasons. Determine the most common questions for his frequently asked questions online. And two, he wants to test the church you selling. $200 minus $75 equals $125 profit. For success, he redesigns the print ad, putting answers to common questions in the text to cut down on calls for information, and decides to negotiate a longer-term ad agreement with the magazine. For information, and decides to negotiate he sends his sales rep a check for 4 issues at 30% of their published rate. He calls to confirm that they received his check via FedEx, and with check in hand and deadline zooming, they don't refuse. And he needs to build the architect and get his mobile MBA. Mobile MBA. That's where the next chapter comes in. No, I'm not. And my religion is love. Christianity doesn't teach that. It's a lot of hate in the Bible, actually. And I just wrote that up on my vocal.media page as well. I believe it's an awesome wisdom book. I believe it's wonderful for spellcasting. But yes, I rather love people than to hate on people. And with me being African American, we learned about Christianity when we came over off of the slave ships. My folks did. And most of the names, some of the names, taken out the Bible were a way to they were taken from the African, some of the names were taken from the African deities. You need to do some homework. I believe your spell book says to do some searching. You haven't searched enough, because if you had, you wouldn't be on my channel asking that kind of question. Yeah, you need to do some searching of what religions were before Christianity came, how Christianity came to play. Then you need to also research the circa in regards to the people who took the book, put in the book what they wanted, took out things from the Bible. Those are called the missing books of the Bible. You probably ought to look them up. I would suggest to you sacredtext.com, where you can see all the missing books of the Bible that they don't teach you when you are sitting in the church on Sunday from their lovely pulpit that you are paying on. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. But no, my only religion, baby, is love. And yeah, that's it. We love everybody around here. We love you no matter your nationality, your color, your sexual preference. We love you no matter what religion you are. If that religion you enslaved, uh, I believe religion teaches you how to act. It does not teach you how to think. Let's keep going. New Rich Revisited of $50 to $200. Micro testing. He auctioned the products on eBay to test demand and the highest possible price. Before purchasing inventory, he ordered product only when people placed orders from him, and products shipped Yahoo store with these products and began testing Google AdWords and other PPC search engines. Number 4, roll out an automation. Following this testing and upon generating sufficient cash flow, Doug began experimenting with print advertising and trade magazines. Simultaneously, he streamlined and outsourced operations to reduce his time requirements from 2 hours per day to 2 hours per week. Comfort challenge, we talked about this. Rejecting first offers and walking away 3 days before performing this exercise. I must gonna be dealing with some big numbers in the future, Lord, reading these numbers right here. I shouldn't call it prayer. I guess I should call it an invocation. It's on the page as well. She did a prayer on her prayer invocation on her YouTube. All right. So on our companion site, and then set aside 2 hours on a consecutive Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. On Saturday and Sunday, go to a farmer's market a lot. It is better to practice on many cheap items rather than a few big items. Be sure to reply to their first offer with what type of discount can you offer to let them negotiate against themselves. Negotiate your closing text. On Monday, call 2 magazines. Expect the first to be awkward and use the script on the companion site to negotiate, minus the last firm offer. Get them as low as possible and then call them back later to indicate that your proposal was refused by upper management or otherwise vetoed. This is a negotiation equivalent of paper trading. Get used to refusing offers, encountering in person, and most importantly, I'm going to have to break all those down into bullet points and simplify it. Sample Muse test page. The PX method. Make sure I'm not missing any questions or anything. Messages that are held for review.
5:47.
I thought y'all closed at 6.
We start closing it 3 minutes before 6. Not at 6. I mean, get up when they say not.
It's 5:47.
Try to wrap it up before 6.
Okay, so 3 minutes to 6. Okay, I want to make sure. All right, so the sales template was used to determine the viability of speed reading product, which tested successfully. Notice how testimonials, credibility indicators, and risk reversal guarantees are used, as well as how the pricing is put on a separate page so it can be isolated. Your credit card information, and is just a mock-up for teaching purposes. Fast and simple website creation for non-techies and techies. I was a non-techie, but I am definitely learning to become a techie with all this training I'm doing and learning. All right, Weebly.com, TimothyFerris.com. It allowed him to create his website in 2 hours and have it appear on the front page of Google for Timothy Ferris searches within 48 hours. Shut up. Really, Mr. Really? Below is designed to be very SEO friendly, search engine optimization without any knowledge or action on your part. No Hotmail or internet expertise is required. If you are um, there's a lot of websites, they're expensive, um, that you can be using for search engine optimization to put you on the high rank of the Google list so that you don't get lost in regards to everybody else competing to be in that #1 spot. Um, WordPress.com, he talks about WordPress. First time he's mentioned that blog site. Might be a good idea for us to explore that site together. Um, he talks about things like Bluehost.com, shopplugin.net, and MarketThing plugin can be used to add e-commerce capabilities. I've used Bluehost. I used Bluehost when I had my Airbnb for the bed and breakfast. So I transferred over to uh, GoDaddy when I started not only having the bed and breakfast and wanting to do some extra marketing, but I also used them for a few years as my base website when I had started Spoken Musical Metaphors. They're reasonable to work with, very nice. Create forms in seconds for testing checkout with or without payment. Full featured does not offer a full featured shopping cart, but it provides the cleanest, easiest to use forms on the web. Create a checkout page that connects to PayPal, and you can link to this checkout page from your site or Weebly. That's nice to know. For those additional options, which are often desirable after successful testing, you will want to use an end-to-end LLC, C Corp, etc. Though I also have a C corporation often used to issue common and preferred stock to investors. Oh my. Created through the second option below, LLCs and S Corps are generally favored. All right, recommended websites, LegalZoom. All right, recommended websites, LegalZoom, Corporate Creations, eJunkie, Space. Ooh, I just learned something. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. CreateSpace.com, a subsidiary of Amazon. As an author, seeing as I'm always learning. A subsidiary of Amazon.com that offers inventory-free physical distribution of books, CDs, and DVDs on demand, as well as video downloads through Amazon Video on Demand. So that gives me 2 avenues. I would have to see how that would play in regards to my authorship versus their Amazon buying program that I just learned about and wrote up about. Clickbank.com. Google.com/AdWords. That would be for your SEOs. AdWords.google.com/select/keyword without an S, tool external to get keywords. Perfect. Tools.seobook.com, wordtracker.com, domainsinsecond.com, that is with an S, joker.com, godaddy.com, godaddy, oneand1.com, and that is the number one, bluehost.com, rackspace.com, hosting.com. I'm just going to copy and paste them and put them on a sheet when I revise the chapter and make it a little simpler and easier to read. Okay. I wish I had known him when he created this book. Life would have been a lot simpler in regards to formatting. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, my loves. And I got to be back at the library tomorrow. Out of the paperwork that I'm filling out for the grant, I have gotten 4 videos completed. There are 11 videos total. And again, I'm taking notes as I go. That helps me to internalize it, also to be able to share what I learned from that for people who it may benefit going forward. So I should be done with those tomorrow. Yeah. If I'm there bright and early, which I intend to be, and bubbly, then yes, indeed. That way, the deadline's is not too far away, but I like to have stuff in early versus waiting to the last minute. So yeah. I thank you for tuning in. I believe it's about 3 minutes till, and that nice gentleman already told me to wrap up. It is. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. See you tomorrow if you're tuning in for the 4-hour work week. And then I will also touch base on some of the things that I was researching this morning so that you can have that as well. I'll have some links for that. Okay? All right. Talk to you later. Thank you, darlings.